Hold on. Hold on. This is a first time for me in this series. I'm actually having trouble how to even explain the theory behind this because it doesn't make any sense. This is ridiculous. This is so... Why? Why? Yo, I'm finally bringing these again. How to deal with aggressive players. This time I'm bringing out Hwoarang. Hwoarang, after Season 2, seems to be very, very frustrating to deal with, right? It feels like he can get away with a lot of things, and I'm just gonna keep it real. That's because he can. A lot of the things you think are true or untrue. For an example, if you block a certain low, he could still power crush through your punish. He could still launch you for it. There's a lot of crazy things that Hwoarang has, and it's just very frustrating to deal with. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how you actually deal with Hwoarang, and I'm actually using Heihachi, which is actually more of a harder character to use because he doesn't have good panic buttons, he requires movement, and he requires execution, right? So on top of dealing with Hwoarang pressure, we're using Heihachi on top of that, right? Yes, he hits like a truck, but it requires a little bit of finesse in order for you to actually use Heihachi like this, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into how to deal with Hwoarang, right? Now, I bet you that for a lot of the people out there who are stuck at Bushin, right? You're about to get your Tekken King promo. This is who you come up against, right? Out of all, your matches have been going great, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I have a Hwoarang, and he's gonna deny my promo. And it feels like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna lose that promo, right? So, and this is also a great example because I'm on my promo match. So, do I get my promo match here? So, one thing I want to emphasize first before we even get into it is understand that Hwoarang doesn't really have that much of crazy punishes. A lot of the punishes, he's going to go into the jab strings. He does have maybe 1 or 2 other punishes, but he doesn't have crazy punishes, right? So what you're going to notice is a lot of the times he's going to go ahead and initiate the jab strings to initiate his overall tornado pressure, vortex pressure with his legs, right? So as you can see here, already going into the jab strings into the flamingo stance, right? Now, what we're going to go ahead, I want to go ahead and talk about how you would sidestep here, right? So, but we'll go ahead and talk about that when you actually see it. The biggest thing right now is understanding about just being okay with blocking. Just be okay with blocking. You're not going to block everything, but you're just going to wait for your opportunity, your moment for you just to kind of get that rebound back within your momentum, right? So understand here, Hwoarang is doing really unsafe things already. This triple kick string right here, understand that this is a high at the end, so just make sure you duck and launch. So because of his mistake, we're going to go ahead and bring him to the other side of the map. Heihachi has really strong wall carry. Really strong wall carry. So in this case, now he's defensive. As you can see, he's understanding that I'm on the ground, I'm getting hit, I need to play it safe because I don't know what this Heihachi is going to do next. He already has a momentum. We shut down his momentum already just by just waiting for that one opportunity, right? So in this case here, I go for a forward 4-3. He's +3, right? So in this case, that's the thing too. Like, forward 4-3 is not a pressure tool, okay? So you don't have to down jab in this situation. You don't. Because you're +3. Initiate your own mix-ups. Don't do your safest option because you could have now initiated momentum and pressure on me. But because what happened here, I did a sidestep, and he's lucky he didn't do anything else because that would have been the wall right back again. We're going to go ahead and understand that we didn't confirm the jab string, so we're going to go ahead and play defense. We're -5. Heihachi's -5. Jab check, and then there goes the string initiation again. I didn't know that was -10. I did not know that, actually. So this is why we do this. This is why we do this, because we're learning together, right? This is how we become better Tekken players in the long run, right? It's not the immediate matches. It's the small knowledge checks that is going to be like a snowball effect in the long run. I could have punished that. He would have ran right back to the wall. So in this case, he's checking me with his legs again. Here comes the pressure. Hwoarang has a super jab. If y'all don't know what a super jab is, I don't know if that's the technical term of it, but the super jab is basically, it's a safe high, it's a jab, it comes out as it starts at 13 frames, it's pretty fast, it leaves him +5. When you get hit by this, just play it safe. Play it very safe here, okay? Be very careful. Now, as I said, play it safe. I jab check. That could have been really, really bad. That could have been really, really bad for me. We risked it though, and we stopped his momentum. Now I'm +6. What do I do? Because once you have your momentum there, and this is not just about like knowing like, oh, you're +6, you're +10, you're +8. It's not really just, it's not about that. That'll come over time. Just learn momentum, and a lot of that momentum comes from a jab, right? That's why you see me jab checking so much. Now he does a panic move. So immediately, what this tells us, what does that tell you as the player, right? What that tells us is, oh, this player may not like blocking. This player may not like having to guess the mind games, right? Okay, so if you don't want to respect my frames, I'm gonna make you punish for trying to disrespect my frames, right? So that's a note check right there. Just put a pin on that, right? Just keep an eye out for that, right? Whenever you're plus, is he gonna do that move? He did it again. And at this point, this is the first round. I'm not expecting him to immediately, out of habit, out of like habitual muscle memory, to do that move, right? And let's go ahead and turn on the command history so we know exactly what moves we're talking about, right? That's gonna be back one. So the thing about back one is understand how minus it is on block. Oh. -14. It's -14. So if we were to go ahead and actually get that punish there, we could have done something like this. We could have done that. Hold on a second. There it goes. You can get something like that too because it's -14, but Heihachi has a very, very strong 12 frame punish. Very, very strong. At the end of the day, if you get something 12 frames or above, you're just gonna want to use that headbutt. There's no need for any other move, honestly, in my opinion. Except for when you're at the wall, go ahead and use your 1-1-2, right? Let's go ahead and return a replay. If I could, yeah, so to understand that move is -14. If you're having trouble with this homing move right there, which is down forward 3. Down forward 3 is only +1 on block, so it's not super plus like it feels like, right? And if you have an idea that he's gonna go ahead and do this move, right? So if you know that when he's facing, right, so it's right foot forward, right? When his right foot is forward, he can do this move, right? So if you have a hard read, and this is if you have a hard read, you can actually stop this. You have to float him. That is how you would deal with that move. So in this case, though, it's a little risky, right? A little risky to, like I said, you need to have a hard read for that. But just understand, it's only +1 on block. It's not super scary, and you can float him out of it. So what did I do there? Why did I jab? Even though I've said you'd be okay with blocking. The first hit missed. So I don't want, what I could have done is just ducked and launched. But in this case, I wanted just, I'm at the wall, my back is at the wall, get away from me. And that's what you want to do to Hwoarang, is just get him away from you. Because he sometimes have problems with initiation and approach, even though he has other moves now that kind of make up for that, which is, I don't know why they would do that. But let's see here. Alright, pops his heat. Goes to super jab. And now I just want you to kind of see my mental here through Heihachi when I'm blocking here. I'm not gonna say anything. Now, I thought I could have launched that, right? But you just kind of see there just how just okay I am. This micro ducks there. And then, okay, even though he didn't hit me, and I could retaliate, I'm just gonna keep backing away, right? That's -13. Good to know. So now, I don't know why he would do that. Just take your punish. Yeah. then we secured the round. So that first round was just patience and making him pay for his mistakes, right? So now, you see how this is working out now? He's not paying attention, he's not learning from his mistakes, because even though it kind of worked out there, I went ahead and ducked just to see what he was going to do there. Ducking is risky, right? Ducking is very risky, right? Just be very, very careful when you're doing that. But in this case, I noticed that he went for the jab string, so I'm going to go ahead and get my punish. And then at this point, I'm being very careful of my Oki. I don't want to run into a back three. I'm sure you guys can relate. You go ahead, you see the Oki situation. If you guys don't know what Okizeme is, it's what you decide to do while your opponent is getting up from the ground. So in this case, this situation right here, right? So I don't want to wake up. I don't want to go and eat a back three on wake up. So I'm going to fake out my approach and then see what he's going to do. I'm going to observe what he's going to do. So, you see what happened here? Y'all remember, electrics are a keep out tool. They can be a keep out tool. Because I missed the first one, I let it rip again. And then now we're gonna go to the wall again. Wall doesn't break. He doesn't take the bait. He's gonna go in jab string, and then he's gonna initiate his pressure here. So that's my fault, right? Because I let him get the jab string. Now he gets his pressure. That's his turn. I pressed something by accident. This move, how do you deal with this move? How do you deal with this move? So, in theory, you would have to sidestep this. So, now, this is where we have to go ahead and talk about sidestepping Hwoarang. Hwoarang has to... You have to step Hwoarang where his belly is facing. It's something I learned. Mayman Sweet said it the best there too. I'd highly recommend. He's been fighting the character a lot longer than me, obviously. But he did say a good pointer is that you have to sidestep to where his belly is facing. So if you were to go ahead and prove this, or test this theory out, so that didn't work because I was minus. Wait. Hold on. Alright, so let's talk about this real quick, because now this poses a problem. This is a problem. This is ridiculous. This is so... Why? Okay. So, he goes ahead and approaches with down 3-4, right? Approach tool. The way you deal with that, let's see. You would have to deal with this and start thinking about this before he does back 2. After back 2, you kind of lost your turn. And now you have to actually eat all these mix-ups, which is crazy. And why do I say that? Because in order for you not to eat everything else that I'm about to show you, we're going to want to go ahead and step to the right side, if I'm not mistaken. No, you can't. Because you would have to have a hard... really hard read on ducking the super jab that leaves him +5 on block, so you don't get caught with his other mid plus on block string. I really hope this video is not as longer than I thought. I didn't think this video... I feel like... So at that point, what do you do with this? You just block. Just block. I'm so sorry, I can't tell y'all anything else, but this is the safest thing I could have really advised y'all. It's just because if you like, I'm having trouble trying to explain this to you guys. This is the first time for me in this series. I'm actually having trouble how to even explain the theory behind this, because it doesn't make any sense. He's plus when you block a high, and then he's plus when you block a mid, and then he's also plus when you eat a low. So what do you do? What I don't know what you do. And this is what I'm talking about right here, okay? Jab string. Can I duck this mid high? But that's so high. That is so high. That's so risky. That is a really hard read, okay? I would only do this if you have a really hard read. And when you do this, is understand that after his super jab, he can go into his mid string, right? The mid string is his leg, and then... Okay, so after his jab string, excuse me. After his jab string, which is like, he can do his down 3-4, but in this case, he also has this mid-high, right? So, you will only do this if you have a very hard read, and then you can launch him. But I'm pretty sure, he has a way to, he has a way to actually, he has armor, does he not? So finally found it here, and this is what my issue is here. So we talked about how we would go ahead and you would have to have a very hard read on the mid-high string here, right? What's the hard read here? Right? And then you see the mid come out, then you block the high, right? Or you duck the high, excuse me. But then he has this. So if I were to go and actually duck the high and actually try to launch him, he has this instead. Let's see here. See the string? I would duck the high, but then he has the armor. So you see that right there? Even then when you have the right read, he has armor to negate your reads. So, and at that point, my best advice is just block and be careful, make him make a mistake. And I hate that that's my advice, but unfortunately right now, this is what you got to do against Hwoarang. Alright, go ahead, back to the replay. And again, you notice how I'm just blocking. I'm just blocking. Block. And at that point here, this is another move. This is another move that we need to talk about here. That is, imagining down 3-4, 4-3, right? Anyways, 4-3, right? So this move right here, you would think that you could sidestep this move, right? Or when you get into it, right? Because it's a mid-mid, right? So it's a mid-mid, so maybe, okay, maybe it's sidesteppable. Maybe it's minus on block there. Maybe I can get my turn when I block it, right? And let's see what happens here. He's +4. Mid, +4, and that comes after the fact that you just ate a down 3-4 that leaves you -14 on hit. So at that point, it honestly blew me away from him. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm away from him. I'll take the L, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get away from him. Oh, but guess what? He approaches with a +6 mid on wake up, and I have to be careful. So at that point here, you just block again. That low, down back 4 is very, very unsafe. Even when you block it, understand that when you block down back 4, that low right there, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just don't. Because Hwoarang has so many other things that can actually catch you as a counter hit when you go ahead and actually block that move. And let's say you have a bigger character and you want to, while standing 4, your safest low right here, which is perfect. I think I'll actually be able to show an example. So he approaches there, and we know, right, he's gonna go for low. You see that? Do you see that? I blocked the low. And I could have gotten launch punished for that. I could have gotten launch punished for blocking a low and punishing the low. So it's untrue. If you block that low, do not punish it. You have to low parry it. And that's the only way you could deal with that low, is you have to low parry it. So unfortunate. Like, you know, I don't know what the thought process behind this is. Now, what do we do here? Oopsie. Let me, what do we do right here? This is what I was talking about with sidestepping. Remember what I said earlier? Remember what the main man said about sidestepping to where his belly is facing. So in this case here, we found our opportunity. He didn't let it rip. We're neutral. We're neutral. Why is that neutral? I have no idea. But in this case, his belly is facing towards the background. We're gonna step right into the background. We avoid the super jab, and he's gonna get a electric of death here right now. And because of his mistake again, we're gonna take him to the other side of the wall. Not enough health for the moment. So now, let's finally go ahead and close this match out, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want this round to be over. Go ahead and give me down 4-4, please. Understand that is a low high. And even if you get hit by the first hit, right? I think, oh, actually, excuse me. So if you get hit by the first hit, excuse me, you cannot duck the second high. So only if the high is, or that move actually comes out pretty slow. It's not reactable to the human eye, but it's one of those things where if you do see it coming because of how low he is to the ground, you can kind of react to it, right? We did the backdash. You see that right there? I see the foot coming. We're gonna block, and then we're gonna duck the high, and then we're gonna launch. Break the wall this time for sure. Drop the combo. That's another thing too. While standing 4-4 is safe, -9. And again, right foot forward. So what does that mean for the Hwoarang? Oh, he's -9, so it doesn't look like he can do anything different. Again, it's -9. You have to just be careful with armor, be careful with evading moves, and at the end of the day, just take your frames with caution, right? So I just do a jab check right there. So in this case, that locks him down. Down jab again. He does a down jab again. He really thinks that he's minus when he's not. I feel like this video is taking longer because I have to explain the garbage that comes with this character, okay? And that's another thing here too, right? So with this move right here, this is a mid string. So at this point, because I ate the down jab, I'm locked down. I'm -6, okay? Mid. Now he's in this stance here, and if he wanted to, if I went to retaliate, you see that? Do you all see that? So you have to be careful there, and it's a mid. So good luck. That's the best thing I could say. So what happens here? You see what happens? I tried to do my safest option. You can look on the right side there. A jab. My safest move in the whole game. I got launched for it. For blocking a mid. Just don't get frustrated when this stuff happens. You see, again, block. Try to whiff punish with an electric, but his legs were really long. Block. Didn't break the throw. Now at this point, I'm going to try to get my health back. I need my health back. I need my heat. Close. Close. We were close. Interrupted. Spring kick. Not expecting that. And then with a beautiful sidestep. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. Sidestepping and then confirming your hits is the exact lead that you need. Now go to sleep with the concussion. And that's how y'all do it. So I'm gonna try to edit this video as simply as I can, so it's not, you guys aren't sitting behind a screen for like half an hour. There's a lot to talk about, and there's also a lot we didn't talk about, okay? So if you guys are dealing with Hwoarang, just don't get frustrated. Be okay with blocking, be patient, and use what I just taught you right now in this video, which is ducking the certain strings at the highs and sidestepping in the right moments, and understanding when not to retaliate. That is the best advice I can give you. Do not retaliate when you think you can, and just push them as far away as you can and make a mistake, and sidestep when available. It's a very frustrating character to go through right now. So, but other than that, I hope y'all found this helpful. Go ahead and join the Discord. I actually will go ahead and put it in the description below. I couldn't talk for a second there, but other than that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care.